Where is Dustin at right now with his quad?
Just questionable. Like I said, it just popped up at the beginning of the week, and he's been out here. He did some kicking today, and we're just going to see how it feels before game day.
So
it'll be a game time decision.
Okay, so
yeah, he did some kicking today, and went through his routine in the morning. It's still a little tight, but we're gonna see tomorrow and then on game day.
So you'll activate.
We would if
Taylor and
yeah, exactly right.
Just have insurance.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Any idea what happened?
No.
Just
It's
one of those odd.
Just one of these odd things that popped up at the beginning of the week, and I have no explanation.
What's wrong with Kyle? Kyle Van Noy is back.
Just football. Football. Played a tough game, but he'll be okay. He'll play in the game. Just he had like an oblique. Just football. But he's gonna play.
Josh Palmer, he's questionable.
Yeah.
Are you optimistic there? Or?
Optimistic.
Okay.
Yeah. Was at practice all week, so he got the reps and stuff. And we were trying to do is work that soreness out, get him enough reps to kind of work some soreness out. But we'll work him out game time and make sure that he's safe to play.
Are you guys considering putting Keenan on IR, or is it not that type of situation at this point?
Not that type of situation.
Now that you know Myles Garrett definitely playing, Jadeveon, Clowney, game time decision, how does that change what you guys are doing?
There's not much. We were kind of expecting both to play. I mean, you kind of have to go into the game that way, expecting that, and then if it changes, you change. But we're going to be prepared for both guys to play, and we've got evidence of who their backups are too.
For Donald Parham, what do you kind of expect his role to look like with it being his first game? Is there going to be any limitations, like snap count, or what do you expect there?
Yeah, Nick, we're expecting for him to, kind of get into that role that he had last year. Get him into the fire and get him out there. We wanted to, have these first 2 weeks to kind of, fully get him acclimated into practice. I'm sure that there's going to be, some sucking wind out there a little bit with his first game, but we expect him to have a full role in the game.
Gerald's I was going to ask about Gerald's had a pretty big role so far.
Yeah.
How do you make that transition? Is that an embarrassment of riches there?
No, I just think Gerald's role is going to stay as is, but I think what you can do with Donald is he can do some of the jobs to take, maybe a load off of Gerald a little bit, where Gerald was, I think, sharing multiple jobs with DP being out. But again, I'm excited about all three. Gerald's had such a good start to the season. I thought Sheree played really well last week, and DP's a weapon for us, so we're hoping to use him on Sunday.
Just wanted to ask you about the first time you met him to now, how he's changed and in what ways.
Yeah, Mike has been a joy to coach. I think from the minute we got here, just embraced us and has been an important part to our team. He's got an important role on our team this year. We see him as a starting corner. He's a starting gunner for us, doing a great job on special teams. And I think his story is what the NFL is about. I think where he started in his pro journey to now, it just shows, who he is as a person and as a competitor. And he's going to be a big factor for us this season.
Do you ever talk to him about his heritage? Does he talk about being Mexican and black or anything, or can you see any pride in him?
Yeah, Bridget, I remember when he came to sign his contract extension, I know that he wore, something that I think was very personal to him. And so I know that side means a lot to him. I know his family, I know, in that DB room, I know that they talk about that a lot. And I know that, just him being a California guy and growing up really close by, that it's really special to him. And, I think being in Southern California, you realize that, he impacts a lot of people. There's a lot of people like him, in Southern California. And so hopefully he can be that example of young kids, boys and girls, of where you can go. And, he's just been a great teammate and a great player to coach for sure.
Just what have you seen out of this Brown defense preparing for this week?
They're a really good defense. They've got an entire defense on that side of the ball, and they've got the front seven, the linebackers, and the DBs to really play good defense. And so we've had to watch a bunch of film this week, and we're gonna have to execute, have a good plan for any chance on Sunday.
I know they were missing a couple guys on the back end in that game last year, but anything you can take away from how you guys played against the Browns last year in that Week 5 game?
Yeah, I think.
Shootout,
Yeah, I think you can take a look at it. Like you said, they're missing a couple guys, and obviously things are going to change from year to year. But they're a very talented team, and they're really well coached, and they play sound, fundamental defense. And so we've seen that all year long from them.
Myles Garrett is going to be back this week. Just how does your preparation change when you're facing a pass rusher of that caliber?
Yeah, he's an exceptional player, as good as it gets, and to have a guy like that on defense, you have to be prepared for him, and you have to have a good protection plan, and you have to have the guys up front to block, and it's something that's really important for our offense to be able to have a plan going into that week, and especially into that game, but definitely have to be aware of him out on the field.
Probably kind of a weird couple of weeks. You had a lot of injury concerns with a bunch of guys, and then the Jacksonville game. Do you feel now after getting that win the other day on the road, things are kind of getting more normalized now? You're back at 2-2.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
After the win last week, getting back to 2-2, do everybody feel a little better about things after what you've been through the last few weeks?
I think it's important for a team to feel the same way regardless of the outcome, and not to get too high or not to get too low. And I think Coach Staley's done a great job of emphasizing that all year long. And it's never as bad as it seems, or it's never as good as it seems either.
What have you seen out of Jamari, and what's your relationship with him like?
Jamari's definitely stepped it up. We knew how good he was going to be in camp. We saw him all camp long, and for him to be able to step up and not miss a beat, he knows the offense really well. He's picked it up really, really quickly. He's got a great feel for that side of the offensive line. And him, Corey, and Matt, they work great together, and he's done an incredible job at practice.
He's kind of described himself as someone who's really tough on himself. Do you kind of see that out there at practice?
Yeah, he's always out there working extra, and you love to see that. And he's one of those guys that stays well after practice and gets those extra reps, and that's really going to be important in the next couple of months.
Has he been leaning on you, asking you questions, just like what you like out there, anything like that?
Not too often. I think he's done a good job, and if he's got any questions about offensive line play, Corey, Matt, they're probably great guys to address.
Justin, the running game hasn't produced a ton of yardage yet, but last week you were able to run it, I think, 23 times before the deadlines. How much, when you at least have that threat, does that help with your play action aspect?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's important to be a well-balanced offense, and we think really highly of our offensive line, especially our running backs, and getting the ball off and going. And we felt like we did a better job of it last week. We could always be better. We could always throw the ball better as well. And so everything that goes into it is just to make sure that we're able to move the ball, keep the defense off balance, and get the ball rolling.
You got to throw every day this week, which is the first since the injury. Just how encouraging was that, just to be able to actually, practice the way that you like to practice? I mean, maybe not totally there, but closer to what you usually do.
Yeah, it's awfully tough when I don't get to throw. I love throwing the ball more than anyone, and just not being out there throwing all the time is definitely something I've had to adjust to. But getting more comfortable, feeling better, just continuing to get my treatment, my rehab, so I feel my best on Sundays.
Is the change in your practice routine this week just have to do with kind of your comfort level and the pain that you're going through, just changing and feeling better? Or
I think it's just being smart, not doing anything that I don't need to do, and getting as many reps as I can get without being too sore, but just handling, make sure that we're being smart about it.
What's it like having Donald back out there?
He's a huge threat. He's one of those guys that you really trust 50-50 balls, and he's a great blocker as well. And one of those guys that you get the ball, something special is going to happen, and we saw that last year with him. So to get him back out there definitely adds to our offense.
What have you seen in the way that he's fought back to get on the field after last season and everything during training camp?
I've got so much respect for him. It's about as tough as a situation as it gets for him, and everyone on our team was behind him. They believed in him, and I think that's a testament to how good of a character he is, and how great a teammate he is, and everyone's got his back, and we're just excited to see him back out there.
When you're throwing with an injury, how much do you get concerned about making sure your mechanics don't get out of whack, kind of like a baseball pitcher would if he's trying to throw off an injury, maybe overcompensate somehow? Does that apply to quarterbacks as well? Yeah,
that's a good question. I think that's one of the things too about just being smart and you're not overdoing it and not getting to the point where you're too sore to throw. And if you can get 15, 20 throws in and feel good about it, I think that's all you need. And just make sure that you get all the reps in practice, you're able to watch them, but to not overexert it or not put too much pressure on it.
How comfortable? Go ahead.
How would you say your soreness compares today than 2 weeks ago?
It's gotten a lot better. It's definitely improving with time and just icing it, doing everything I can in the treatment room to get better with it.
How comfortable are you in those bootleg situations? You had a bunch in the game. You hit Mike on that one. Then there's the two late in the game, the 4th and 1, and then the touchdown to Austin. When you're rolling outside the pocket like that, just on bootlegs, how comfortable are you in those situations? And why do you feel like you have so much success in those situations?
In terms of the ribs or just in general?
No, just in general. no ribs question. It's
Okay.
like from a quarterbacking standpoint.
Yeah. No, I think it's great because those are plays where you make plays, and to have guys like Mike, DeAndre, Gerald Everett, those guys are out on the perimeter, and it's kind of like a 3-on-2 fast-paced offense in basketball. If you get those guys, you go out there and you make something happen. And obviously, you got to be smart with nakeds and bootlegs, but throwing the ball away, incompletions are perfectly okay with those.
So you're the point guard in that scenario?
I try to be. I try to get the ball to those guys and let them do the cool stuff.
They go and dunk on everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's Donald Parham right there.
Yeah. He's
Tall enough, yeah.
What were you grilling earlier in the week?
It's just a brisket. Yeah.
Victor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Are
No
they,
worries.
Better? Are you improving in that area as a grill master?
You're always hoping for improvement. I think it's a lot like football where you look to get better. It's obviously not always going to be your best performance, and I think that's one of the best parts about it is just continuing to learn and get better, and just like football.
Watch
Exactly,
The film.
yeah.
Watch the film. Go out to
Watch the
practice,
film. Yeah, we'll
be
see
around
it.
the
Yeah,
teammates, all that
address
stuff.
it and get better.
How would you grade out your performance to the brisket this week?
I thought I could have done better. Obviously, it's not what I wanted it to be, but I think the teammates believed highly in my abilities, and it's just one of those things I'll continue to get better at.